Hello and welcome to the next episode of FDT-TV. I'm Mike.
And I'm Ian.
Thanks for joining us again. This is the follow-up to the week's previous results. Some things to discuss. You look disgusted already.
I'm always disgusted.
So we'll just start getting cracking on. So the first game that we're going to talk about is Arsenal in Europe last week. So we played on Thursday night against Vitoria FSC. Oh, we were lucky in that game. We were very, very lucky in that game. So there was 3-2 to us with an absolutely poor performance until the last 15 minutes. So there was 10 changes made to the Arsenal team. Even when the squads were announced, I didn't really feel confident. Still no Ozil in the squad. The guy just can't catch a break at the moment. And once again, we've just showed a lot of lack of creativity. It's something that I think we've really been struggling with over the last couple of weeks. As I've just said, it was a really sloppy start to the game. Went down fairly early, got the equaliser about 30 odd minutes from Martinelli. Second half was more of the same, although we did make some substitutions at half time that did make a bit of a difference. We conceded a goal again, and then Pepe, super Pepe, come on and scored two absolutely blistering free kicks. Did you see any of the game at all? No. Okay. So
I did not.
For Pepe's first goal, it was about 25 yards out on the edge of the box.
Okay.
Come on, and you could sense it. There's a couple of times I've looked at free kicks and gone, do you know what? I quite fancy that. And it was a left foot pinger. Fooled the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper started moving to one side, and Ozil then a Freudian slip. Pepe then just banged it into the bottom corner.
Yep.
Brought us on level terms, and then we got a free kick within like the last dying seconds of the game. This one was more square on, and just absolutely pinged it right in postage stamp top bins. Absolute belter of a free kick. I'll have to show you when.
I should look up. So, would you say that Pepe in that game showed glimpses of the price tag that you paid for him?
Yes, he was only on for 15 minutes. But in that 15 minutes, apart from, I'd say, Kieran Tierney and Martinelli's kind of like a shining light for us at the moment. But Pepe was deadly in those last 15 minutes.
Okay.
It was making some good off the ball runs. Was really threatening, and it could be the player that we did pay all that money for.
Yeah. So does that make you qualified now? Because it's still group stages, isn't it?
Yeah, still group stages. We just need one more point, and then we've already qualified. But I think I can't remember who the other teams are in our group. But yeah, we just need one more point to qualify.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And was it a younger squad selection? Always,
yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, so
no, this was all kind of fringe players, and
yeah, that makes sense. Which it goes in line with what you've been doing in the Europa League, isn't it? And every week, every time you play in the Europa League, you see the team seems to play better, and then people moan that he's changing the team and he played poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I didn't see the game, but it sort of segues nicely into Arsenal Crystal Palace. Which, what we shall do is I can tell you what our predictions were for this week.
Yep.
Or last week that we made for this week's fixtures. So for yourself, you picked that Arsenal were going to win 2-1, and I went with 2-2. So that's 3 points for me on the leaderboard.
Yes.
Not to say that there was much to that. I thought it'd be a difficult game with yourselves just struggling a bit, I think, at the minute. It's been bounded around a lot that you want Arsene Wenger back. Well, there's a lot of fans, not you necessarily, but there's a lot of fans saying I want Arsene Wenger back because there's no distinct style under Emery and no distinct way of what he wants to play out from the back, but everyone's playing out from the back. And I don't think he's stamped his mark on it. You've got 4 captains, one of which left. 5 captains. I think you've only got 4 now. The way
yeah, fair point.
The way Xhaka left that pitch, that's the bit I did see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he never plays for the club again. But 2-2. Understandably, or from what I understand, there was a number of VAR controversies.
Yeah.
Again, talks for it.
Tierney got his first start in the Premier League. Was very positive. It was a cracking first half. We went two goals up fairly quickly. Ironically, from people that have been taking a lot of criticism this season already with Socrates and David Luiz. Within quick succession of each other, 2 set pieces, 2 good goals. 2 good goals, definitely deserved it, and we did look dangerous from the word go. And then it's like we scored the 2 goals, thought we were going to absolutely breeze it, and it was kind of like the foot was taken off the gas sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
And but in the first half, towards the end of the first half, we let Crystal Palace back in. Stupidly, we let Zaha get through. Got initially booked for diving, went to VAR, and the decision was overturned, which I'll come back to in a bit. Decision was overturned, penalty was given. Crystal Palace got back into the game, and we never looked like recovering since. The second half, it was a frustrating second half. I mean, there were chances, but nothing again really clear cut. Right toward Ayew got them back into the game.
Yep.
So it was a run down the wing. Xhaka should have done better with blocking the cross coming in, and David Luiz was kind of caught out back post, and Ayew got in, scored the goal. The rest is history. But the thing that is frustrating is because on the 80, I think it was like the 84th or the 85th minute, it was very scrappy in the box. Socrates popped up, got the ball in the back of the net.
Yep.
There's every Arsenal fan thinking that we'd end up winning the game. We were quite fortunate to be in that position, I'm not going to lie. But it was just what we needed. The ball was brought back up to the box, and then it was announced over the tunnel that it was being looked for a VAR decision, and then it was chalked off. Now, the run of the play at that time, I'm probably speaking on behalf of all Arsenal fans here. We thought that there was a foul on Chambers.
Yep.
So it was either, we were under the illusion it was either going to be a penalty, but because we got the goal, there was no need to go back on it. But the decision was taken that Chambers had fouled Crystal Palace player, and the goal was chalked off. And I was absolutely fuming. I have never seen a decision like that. I was listening to TalkSport earlier today, and they were talking about, they've now got a new feature where it is called the top 5 VAR blunders. And I was actually quite surprised, because I know how much Adrian Durham is a massive Arsenal fan. But yeah, I was quite surprised that he actually put that number 1 today. And honestly, I couldn't believe it. could not believe it.
So, leading on from that,
Mm-hmm.
do you think they will scrap VAR in the middle of the season because it's not right and it's getting worse by the week? Or do you think they'll stick with it and just upset stakeholders and sponsors and everything else because of that's what they've decided to do, and they're too bloody minded to say it's not ready, we've got it wrong, and go, right, we're going to work on it for what we've learned. We're going to work on it for 6 months, and we're going to bring it in again at the start of next season with these changes and go from there. But what's your opinion on that?
I don't think they can scrap it for this season. I really don't, because we've already started the season with it. There have been some game-changing decisions already this season.
Yep.
So if they were to scrap it halfway through the season, it's unfair on the results that have already been impacted by the decision. Yep. So I think they're going to have to roll with it. This is something I wanted to come onto on the second part, was just some of the research I've done on the whole VAR thing.
Okay. We'll save that discussion for then.
Yes, yeah. But in answer to your question, no, I don't think they can scrap it.
Okay. No. And just quickly, are you, just in a one-word answer, are you happy with Unai Emery?
Short answer, no.
No, that's fine. Would you want to replace him partway through the season, or see what happens for the rest of the season and then make a decision at the end?
That's I think is a tough one. I think I'd give him at least till January.
Yep.
Assess the situation, because I mean he's already had a season there. There are managers that have been given less time and got the chop.
Yep.
This is something I've listened to. There's been said a lot on various different other podcasts that I've been watching, that under Arsene Wenger, he was with us for 20 odd years, won us cups, trophies, blah 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 blah. There was kind of like an allegiance to him.
Yep. With
Unai Emery, he's been there one season. We've got no allegiance to him. It's a results-driven business, as we know.
Yep.
If they're not going our way, then something needs to change. But the frustrating thing is that I think there is something there, but it's just not clicking at the moment, and I can't work out what it is.
Fair enough. Well, see, I'm a big believer in giving managers you've got 3 seasons minimum, unless you're not winning anything.
Mm-hmm.
You get to January and you've won 2 games, then something's got to change.
Mm-hmm.
But give them 3 seasons to build it, bring in some players, put their system in the first season. Players start to get used to it the second. The third season, you should be going, right, now we're seeing big results. My only concern is when you see Arsenal play, the only thing that they seem to have adopted is dropping those 2 centre-backs right back into the box, which is a new rule that you're allowed to do this season. And that's the only decisive play that I've seen. Where you'd watch the likes of Norwich, although they've got a lot of injuries and they only seem to have one system of play, they have a distinct style. They're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
You watch Man City, they've got a distinctive style of play. You look at what Frank Lampard's trying to do with Chelsea. All right, he's doing very well at the minute, in my opinion, but you know what they're going to sort of try and come out and do. Where I don't see that there's anything that he said, right, this is how we're aiming to play. We'll change it tactically from week to week depending on what's happening in the team we're playing.
Yep.
But this is how we're going to do it. And I just feel that there's that lack of sort of him stamping his mark on a team. I think he feels a bit more like a caretaker manager than he does a full-time representative that's going to take the team forward over the next 10, 15 years.
I completely agree with that. There's I've spoken to a few Arsenal fans over the last couple of days, even from the game we had in the Europa League last week, where that exact thing has been said, that we haven't got an identity. The only thing that we seem to have adopted, as you've said, is playing out from the back, and we're not good enough to play out from the back. We are not good enough to play out the back.
Is that personnel though, or is that confidence, or is that a little bit of both?
I think both.
Fair enough.
I do think both. I mean, with the likes of Chambers and Kolasinac, I think, has got some good pace. He's strong, but his end product's not that great.
Yeah.
Sometimes can be caught out by drifting up too high, and then we get caught on the counter, or we just get done down that side. Chambers, I think a similar sort of thing. I mean, he's a good defender, but he's not pacey enough to get out from the back. With the likes of Kieran Tierney and Hector Bellerin, I think that would be an option potentially to do that. But I think if that is the case, then you need to change the personnel at the centre back position.
Would Rob Holding come into that, because he's not back yet, is he? Or is he?
No, he's fit, but he's
not starting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would he change it, because he a younger player who I rate quite highly, is solid. When Emery came in, he was sort of the foundation of your defence, wasn't he?
Yes.
And he went on that long undefeated run, and everyone was praising him. Holding got injured, that fell apart, and there's not seemed to be that much recovery from that point.
Yes.
So do you think him coming back into the team would have a major effect that would potentially give you something to kick on from?
I think it's very difficult to say until you actually see him in action. I mean, he's played a couple of times, and the Europa League game, I think just the defence in general was a bit shocking.
Yep.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's down to him personally, but I think with the youth in the team, such as your Bellerins, your Tierneys, and those two are pacey.
Yep.
Socrates actually had a good game yesterday. That's one thing I will say. He was absolutely blinded, but he has been a bit shaky. I think we need to mix something up. We need to mix something up.
Yeah.
Whether we drop Louise and Socrates for a couple of games and put possibly Chambers and Holding in the middle, providing that they're both fit, then happy days, and then bring Hector Bellerin as well.
Okay. Well, what we'll do, because I'm conscious of keeping time down on the episode.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that there's problems with fullbacks, which there is another team in the Premier League that has got even worse fullbacks, and that team is Tottenham Hotspur. Who? So I was watching it on a bit of a ticker yesterday and following it on Twitter. Seemed to throw away a game that they could have won against Liverpool, and lost. And seemingly their fullbacks were the joke of the day.
It was. I'll tell you what. It was a really, really entertaining game.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely, it was really entertaining, and it pains me to say that. Obviously, being our rivals, and also I just don't like Liverpool. I just wanted to get beat. God damn it!
It's one of those things that puts you in a predicament, because you think I don't want Spurs to win, but I'd also like to see Liverpool lose.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. That's what it was like, the Champions League final all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an extremely fast start from Spurs. They were quite lethal.
Yeah,
and definitely had chances to put the game to bed. But once again, Liverpool were clinical.
Yeah.
It was a VAR decision. Yeah.
Was it a correct VAR decision?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Annoyingly, again, yes.
Yeah.
It was Mane was tackled in the box, and I think it was Aurier that went pretty much down the back of his leg, and it was correctly given. So the Liverpool machine still march on, still undefeated. They ain't going to be invincible though. They're not going to be invincible.
No, I think they will slip up. I think they, against Manchester United, showed their vulnerabilities, that when Mo Salah's not in a team, They are beatable and they lack a bit of confidence.
Yeah.
I think they're resilient, but I just think if he's not in a team and Mane gets injured, season over. That's
we've discussed this quite a few times. We have discussed this quite a few times. But I mean, Spurs did have the opportunity, or a couple of opportunities, to go on and win the game, but Jordan Henderson was a good goal, and then Salah with a penalty.
Yep. So we'll do the results for that. I predicted that result was going to be. Let's check the scorebook, shall we?
3-1, I think you said.
Yeah, I said 3-1, and you said 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get the scoreline, but we both got the result. So that's 1 point to you, and another point to me.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have anything to add to it. I was in an amusement arcade, riding on a fake motorcycle at the time of a game, trying to amuse some small children, not just ones that I found, ones that I went with. We will add. But yeah, so I was trying to keep up with it, but I didn't actually see it. Game I did see most of, was West Ham Sheffield United.
Yes.
We'll put the predictions in now. I predicted we was going to lose 1-0, and Mike predicted, was it 2-2 or was it 1-1?
1-1.
It was 1-1, yeah. So that puts Mike on 4 points, and I don't get any points. So that makes us equal, both on 4 points. When I see the game, I see the lineup. I was a bit. Zabaleta started. Like Zabaleta, I think he's a little bit past it, but okay, solid. I was happy to see Aaron Cresswell back. He was injured last week, and back in the team this week, so I was happy with that. And it was nice to see the general, Fabian Balbuena, back in the team. And that was the lineup that was actually quite solid last year in defence for us, so I was happy with that. Ogbonna's been playing well, but he's come back in, and he did play well. I think he's our best ball-playing defender. Robert Snodgrass, my favourite Scotsman. I was disappointed. Now, here's the thing. Robert Snodgrass is like Marmite for a lot of West Ham fans. Some people love him, some people hate him. I really liked him. I think we overpaid for him when we bought him, and then we played him in the wrong position, so he didn't produce. Pardon me. So it wasn't really fair on him. We then, what did we do then? We then sent him out on loan to Aston Villa, and he played really well. Helped get them promoted. And now we've got him back, and he's been, I think, one of our most consistent performers this year. Great to see him score. Lovely bit of composure from him. And his celebration said it all, I think. He was happy to be back on the score sheet. He wanted to win. He wanted to drive forward. He was our man of the match. He was putting the balls in the box, which Haller wasn't getting to. So Pellegrini, in his wisdom, brought on Ajeti, second striker, to try and get on the Henderson balls, but then took off. Robert Snodgrass was supplying the balls. So when Ajeti got in the positions to receive the balls he was putting in, there's no one putting the ball in.
Yeah.
I think the big problem with it is that Pellegrini doesn't know, one, who his best team is. He's starting 11. If you said if you asked him who his starting 11 is, I don't think he'd know. And he also doesn't know his best formation. So he's sticking to a formation and slotting players in out of position or out of form players because that's the formation he wants to play. And I don't think you can do that. I think he will be very shortly looking at new jobs. We started very positively this season, but we've now pulled 2 points from the last 12. And we again threw away a lead, and we're not picking up points, but with the amount of money, especially for West Ham, that they spent in the summer, it's not the results that we wanted. You know, for the money they spent, they've spent the most this summer than any other year, and they're not producing. So I think he's time is starting to come where maybe they start looking at other managers and look at, right, what options have we got? I mean, I like to give managers time, but again, is another one. There doesn't seem, he hasn't stamped his mark on it. There's points where he's playing players out of position, and then when we start to lose or concede a goal, it just seems like there's no knowledge there of what to do at that point.
That's exactly the same as us at the moment. It is frustrating. Just to pick you up on your point there, just in relation to Pellegrini, I think we've said, or you said it in a previous video, that you don't think, or that West Ham can't afford to sack Pellegrini.
Nope.
Given the results recently, I mean, you're not doing terribly, but do you still think that the pressure is mounting for him then to?
Oh, the thing is I think what they will do is get rid of him, and then in January and next year spend nothing.
Right.
I think that's the squad we've got now until January 2020, maybe the summer after that. But there's no positivity. There doesn't seem to be much positivity there in a minute. He's taking off players that are playing well to put on other players who, when they have started games in the cup or had cameo performances, have been terrible. And it's frustrating. And West Ham fans can be very fickle. But once they turn, it doesn't mean it doesn't go well, does it? Some of them haven't got two brain cells to rub together. So it's just one of those things where once a crowd turns on him, I don't think he'll come back. And it will be a toxic place to be.
Are we talking kind of similar scenes that we saw, was it last season or the season before?
Yeah, 2 seasons ago.
Where you basically
people running onto the pitch and just, things that you don't really want to see in football. But I think that's the way it'll end up again.
To be honest, mate, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up, if the run of results for us keep going the way that they're going at the moment. I can see exactly the same thing going for us. Yeah. But to be honest, I mean, if you could do like a keys in a bowl for managers, I would much rather someone else at the moment.
I think I'd want Jurgen Klopp.
Oh, definitely.
Or Sean Dyche, to be fair.
Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche. Hello, my name's Sean Dyche. I'd like it, but I mean, Burnley lost, didn't they? But again, when it comes up for your week to play Burnley, I'd never met someone who's playing in that the week that goes, "Oh, we're playing Burnley this week. That'd be a nice game." It's, "Oh, we're playing Burnley. This is going to be a hard slog, and if we win, then good. But we're aiming for a point, you know." But yeah, we'll go from there and see what happens. But say, have you got anything to add to that one?
I just thought I did think it was I did think it was an entertaining game. It was, unfortunately for you, it was the same guy that scored against us scored against you. Similar circumstances, that it was just a momentary lapse of sloppy defending that cost you the goal. Luckily for you, you were already in the position that you did win a point from it. But but you didn't. It's not like you didn't have chances to win the game yourself, as well. I think for the quite large amounts of the game, you had the majority of the possession. It's just they were more clinical with the chances that they did have. In which case they scored. But as I said, luckily you were already one up at the point anyway. But yeah, that's all I've got on that game.
Fair enough. We'll wrap it up there and put our predictions in part 2.
Yep.
As well as VAR and my retraction of I got my breaking news wrong. Gary Rowett didn't come from Luton. He come from Birmingham, didn't he? And managed Stoke. So I got the right news. He is now the Millwall manager, but just the history was a bit off.
That's fine.
So first retraction of the
How dare you
of the
mislead
channel.
these fans?
I mean, it'll be the first of many from me, I'm sure, because my information is always a little bit off. But there we go. But again, I've been Ian.
I've been Mike.
Um,
Please hit that like button.
Yeah.
Please hit that subscribe button. Please share it with people that you think may be interested. And yeah, we'll see you in part 2.
Yeah. See you later.